So Rachel, thank you very much for joining us today. I believe you have the oath in front of you. I'd be very obliged to read through it. Thank you.
Okay, I, Rachel Vaughan, solemnly affirm by all that is sacred and righteous that my testimony is given freely and without coercion and is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you very much. We're very obliged for giving that testimony. Obviously, everything that you say is of great importance, and it's very important that you yourself believe that what you're saying is going to be of relevance to those who are going to be listening, but also that it is the truth, as you understand it and have experienced it. And I want you to feel free to say whatever you need to say here. This is not a court about you. It is an inquiry, and it's one in which we wish to, from time to time, ask questions. So forgive us if we stop you every now and then. We ask things that we think need clarity or some clarification. But in your own words, if you just begin your testimony, that'd be very kind. Thank you.
All right, so I was born in 1973 and I grew up in a suburb of Adelaide in South Australia called Edwardstown. I'm speaking to you today about an organised group of pedophiles in South Australia who abused me physically, sexually, emotionally, and through satanic ritual abuse spiritually throughout my childhood. What I suffered at their hands was terrible, but what I was forced to witness being done to other children was far worse. During my childhood, I witnessed the murders of 6 children. My father, Alan Maxwell McIntyre, was directly involved in all 6 of those murders. He also forced me to watch him dismember a further 2 children. I know where 2 of those children are buried. My half-brother Andrew McIntyre, who was born in 1952, backs up my allegations against our father, as he too was sexually, emotionally and physically abused by him. Andrew was also forced to perform multiple body disposals at our father's behest, incinerating them, then burying those remains at our former home in Edwardstown, South Australia. It is Andrew's intention to discuss these matters with your tribunal at a future date. We have another sibling, my half-sibling and Andrew's full sibling, Ruth Collins, who also corroborates our allegations of sexual and emotional abuse against our father in countless documents and statutory declarations which she has written to you authorities over the past 12 years. In fact, Ruth is named in 3 books by individual authors, naming her as the only credible witness to have made allegations about what happened to the Beaumont children. The case of the 3 missing Beaumont children is a globally known instance of multiple child abductions from the same family. On Australia Day 1966, 9-year-old Jane, 7-year-old Anna and 4-year-old Grant Beaumont disappeared from the beach at Glenelg, an outer suburb of Adelaide. Since that date, local Adelaide newspapers and media outlets have kept up a running commentary about that terrible event and how the disappearance of the 3 innocent children changed the way Australian parents looked after their kids forever. It is considered one of Australia's most baffling cold cases. Andrew corroborates Ruth's account of what happened at our home on Australia Day 1966 and what occurred in the weeks both before and afterward. Both Ruth and Andrew have alleged that both our father and Anthony Munro were involved in the abduction and disappearance of Jane, Anna and Grant Beaumont. Whilst that is Ruth and Andrew's story to tell, I bring it to your attention as my father has been widely named as a person of interest in the disappearance of the Beaumont children since 2007. Google his name and countless articles appear naming Alan Maxwell McIntyre as a person of interest in that case. My father was never charged, never prosecuted by South Australian police, not for the sexual abuse of his 3 children and not for the murders that he committed. Alan Maxwell McIntyre died a free man on the 13th of June 2017.